Good morning. I'm doing a case study on Ray Charles. We're gonna start with the demographic information on the actual client. Age at admission, 65. Race, African American. Male. Marital status, married. His employment is he is a legendary musical artist. Referring source is A Better Choice Counseling, also could be called ABC Counseling. Admission date was 07/25/22. Discharge date was 07/25/23. Treatment and setting and modality, A Better Choice Counseling. Okay. Now on to the case study. We'll start with substance abuse history. The client reported he started using heroin in the 1950s while on tour with a band. The client reported that he used heroin every day of the week. The client reported that he used more when on tour. The client reported his progression grew when he met Mary Ann Fisher. The client stated that he started with dime bags and now uses 8 of heroin. The client reported that heroin is his primary substance. The client reported that he suffers from visual and auditory hallucinations. The client reported that he is blind. The client reported that he lost vision when he was a child. The client stated that he suffers from withdrawals and nightmares. The client reported a judge in Canada ordered him to attend a treatment clinic. Now on to the psychological functioning. The client arrived at the appointment late. He appeared younger than his stated age. His dress is neat. He wore a black suit with dress shoes and sunglasses. His grooming and hygiene are adequate. He is resistant to interviews. His posture is erect. His mode is suspicious. His affect is flat to content. His rate of speech is rapid. His tone is loud. His thought processes are loose association. He did not demonstrate insight. His thought content is relevant. He demonstrated psychotic symptoms, He did not deny visual or auditory hallucinations. He denied obsessions and compulsions. He did not deny phobias. He is oriented to time and place and person. His memory is intact. His intelligence is estimated to be above average. His judgment and impulse control are inadequate. He denied suicidal ideations. He denied homicidal ideations. The client reported he suffers from traumatic flashbacks of his childhood. The client reported being exploited by a club owner. The client reported that the club owner controlled his money and career. The client stated he experienced guilt after watching his brother drown to death. The client reported he developed vision problems after seeing his younger brother drown. C. Educational, vocational, financial. The client reported he played in a country band. The client reported he played the piano at a nightclub. The client reported he learned how to play the piano at the age 5. The client reported he started a group called the Raelettes. D. Legal history. The client reported that he played in a concert in Atlanta when he was encountered by civil rights protesters. The client reported that he protested that he would not play in any concerts if black concertgoers had to sit on the balcony. The client reported that he was once barred from the state of Georgia. The client stated he was arrested in Canada at customs at the airport for possession of heroin. The client reported he was deported back to the United States. The client reported, after being arrested in customs for possession of heroin, the client reported he was then deported back to the United States. The client reported that a judge in Canada ordered him to attend a treatment clinic. The client stated that his hotel room was once raided by police. The client stated that the police raided his hotel room because they received a tip that he was in possession of heroin. The client reported that heroin was found inside his hotel room. The client reported that he was charged with possession but did not get charged because the police did not have a search warrant. E. Social history. The client's mother name is Aretha Robinson. She was a single parent living in poverty, raising him and his younger brother. The client's younger brother drowned when he was young. The client reported that in the 1960s, he became more popular and was offered a better contract with another record label. The client decided to leave Atlantic Records. The client then married Della Bay, a preacher's daughter. During their relationship, the client begins using drugs. Della finds drugs. The client's wife finds drugs in his shaving bag and asks him to stop using. The client stated that his wife Della found drugs in his shaving bag and asked him to stop using. The client stated he refused and walked out on his pregnant wife Della. The client reported he then meets Mary Ann Fisher and begins to have an affair with her. Mary Ann Fisher the client reported that Mary Ann Fisher threw a brick through his car window because of jealousy. The client stated that he met Margie, a lead singer, and he began to also have an affair with her as well. The client stated Margie ended up pregnant and she demanded the client to leave his wife and his 3 children. The client reported that he and his wife Della has 3 children. The client reported that in the 1970s, he and Della moved into a huge house with their children. Physical history: the client was diagnosed with glaucoma at an early age, which caused blindness. The client suffered from drug abuse withdrawals and nightmares with visual and auditory hallucinations. Treatment history. The client said he attended 12 Narcotic Anonymous meetings and 12 Alcoholic Anonymous meetings. He also attended a detoxification facility. Assessment: the client is a 65-year-old African-American male. The client showed symptoms of substance abuse disorder. The client reported he had issues with heroin and alcohol addiction. The client reported he has not had any relapses. Treatment plan. Problem number 1, the client is unable to resist the urge to use heroin while on tour. Short-term goals: the client will abstain from using heroin. The client will identify and avoid individuals who can trigger him. The client will ride on another tour bus from everyone else. Long-term goals: the client will maintain sobriety from all substances. The client will maintain his distance from all individuals and group who can trigger him. J. Course of treatment. The client intends to attend 12 NA meetings and 12 AA meetings. The client also attended interpersonal counseling, and the client and his family attended family counseling. Discharge summary. The client was discharged from a 12-week detox facility. The client was emotional but cooperative during the interview. The client continually expressed how he is going to change his life around. The client continued to explain how grateful he was for the treatment. Regarding problem number 1, the client continued to keep his distance from everything that could trigger him and continued to have a successful career in the music world.